Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and with AMD's Computex announcement, we get information about 3rd Gen Ryzen and its release date, and we also get more information about what Radeon is doing with Navi. AMD's Computex announcement was jam-packed, right? They touched a little bit about servers and their line, both Instinct and Epic, along with, then they went into a little bit about Navi, and then they ended up with their processors and 3rd Gen Ryzen. And I'm going to start there with 3rd Gen Ryzen, because I think that that is the most anticipated item that we've been getting a lot of leaks about, and I'm super excited at where AMD is going with this. They showed off that this is still on the AM4 platform. We got the 7 nanometer, and this is 3rd Gen Ryzen. They didn't come out with everything. They just showed off a couple of the processors that they have going out there. They're doubling floating point performance, and this is the core improvements, or the core stuff that they improved upon. They double the cache size, and they're basically helping reduce latencies there. And they're having a 15% IPC uplift. It's going to be interesting to see. I'd love to get my hands on this. We'll see if I actually am able to. But to be able to test to see if they are actually seeing that big of an uplift overall. Now, they did announce the Ryzen 7 3700X, 8 core, 16 threads, 4.4 turbo, 3.6 base in 65 watts. And that right there is what is impressive. They were able to get that down to 65 watts. It'll be interesting to see how well it overclocks. But at 65 watts, that's a drop down from the 105 of the 2700X. And that's impressive in itself. I'm actually excited to see where this actually is positioned against on an Intel side processor. But also, this may be a thing where a great little media gaming box is all of a sudden 8 cores, 16 threads is quite achievable. Then they also have the Ryzen 7 3800X, and that's also 8 cores, 16 threads, and 4.5 turbo and 3.9 base, 105 watts. They did a PUBG demo. I did not like the PUBG demo at all. I thought it was not a good demo. AMD should have did. This is going to be basically AMD's full-fledged 8-core 16-thread that they're going to be going against. I think that they should be pegging this against the 9900K. We will see what actually happens, because Intel didn't announce like a 9900KS. But this is the 3800, and the R7 3700 I just talked about was $329, and that's what I'm really excited about, that 65-watt part for that price point. Then the 3800X is $399, so that's going to get your higher turbos, your higher base. Supposed to be then more competitive with the Intel stuff. Probably a little bit more room to overclock than if these chips overclock, right? The last chips AMD's had, the 2700 and the 1800 and 1700, didn't overclock quite well once they get up to top frequencies. We'll see if AMD has kind of fixed that with this new process heading over to 7 nanometer and Taiwanese semiconductor company rather than global foundries. So they did talk about a Ryzen 9. So this is a new family of processors. They only announced one. They said Ryzen 9 family, and they only announced one processor, so you can only imagine eventually there probably will be more. And this is the 3900X. It is 12 cores and 24 threads. So we're starting to get the more cores and more threads, which is what we like. And it's going to be 4.6 turbo, which is a higher turbo clock than the 3800. And it's also going to be a 3.8 base, so slightly lower than the 3800 on the base side. 70 megs of cache, just an enormous amount of cache. 105 watts and $499. It's going to be great to see how well this processor clocks up and hits some of those turbos, and if it overclocks, and see where it competes with Intel, especially the 9900KS that was just announced. I'm excited to see where that all goes. This could be, I hope that they even start bringing these price points down. As you see, a lot of Ryzen stuff comes down in price over time. More availability for more users is going to start bringing a lot more credence to game developers and just developers like myself, coding more for multi-threaded applications. All of these processors are going to be released on July 7th. So these three, July 7th, get ready, get your pennies saved up so that you can go and buy them. It is going to be also, they have 56 new motherboards, the X570 on there. If you have a previous motherboard, I don't know all the support of them are. It is AM4 socket, and that's going to come down to the motherboard manufacturers and what they support. So 570's got some new features like PCI Express 4.0, and there's more performance on that PCI Express 4.0. And if you have a graphics card that can utilize that, there's more bandwidth, and I believe they said somewhere around there's going to be a new 3D Mark demo that actually shows it, but AMD said someplace in the 60 to 70% range of more throughput that they can get on that PCI Express bandwidth. So we'll see once that demo's out. If I get a PCI Express 4.0 system, I can test it, but time will tell if that actually happens this year. But getting into that, it is Navi and the new Radeon graphics cards. Navi is gaming focused. It sounds like Vega is going to still be around. It's going to be GNC, going to be compute focused, especially for the Instinct and their server line. However, Navi, which looks pretty cool, is going to be a next generation PlayStation. They've announced that officially. Of course, PlayStation's already kind of announced that as well. And then it's faster clocks and lower power. They were saying about the RDNA is what they were talking about. So Radeon DNA is a new compute design. They're increasing IPC. So this is supposedly a fully new design, kind of moving away from GNC that we've been accustomed to for all these years. Streamlined graphic engine, 1.2 times performance per clock versus Vega, and 1.5 times performance per watt versus Vega. Also PCI Express 4.0, so it's going to be on the new PCI standard. The RX 5000 series is what it's going to be called, so everything else that's where AMD's going. Interesting that they stuck with the 5, considering that they've already on the 500 series, and now they're going to 5000. Maybe a little bit confusion with that. Hopefully we can get over that hump. But the RX 5700 is 10% against the RX 2070 in Strange Brigade. So that's what they showed off. It's launching in July, and they'll have more information on June 10th about this card. So Navi looks promising. We'll see pricing and everything probably around June 10th for the launch in July. And it's kind of funny watching this whole thing. A couple other things I want to mention before I end this video and then be able to hear your thoughts in the comments below is Acer went to town on AMD's competition. I mean, Acer was on stage, and wow, I mean, maybe he said some things out of line that Lisa Su was unexpecting with stock price and stuff. She kind of had to turn it back as a technical presentation. But he said that the AMD is the only one with GPU and CPU. I mean, Intel has some of that, but he was COO or co-COO or something like that. He basically said, Intel has stuff, but it must not be up to Acer standards in what they're doing for their line. Also, Acer will have on the 570s and Navi and Ryzen Gen 3 in their systems launching in, I believe it's July or August, someplace in there. So it's going to be quite soon after AMD launches. They're going to be there. And also their Epic, I want to talk a little bit about Epic. 60 platforms on Epic already. There is more than 50 cloud instances. Frontier supercomputer is a future generation of AMD Epic. I thought that was just key that they were talking about that, and future generation of Radeon Instinct. So both are future, meaning we aren't seeing them today. So what AMD has in store, they're kind of hinting that there's more to come. There's going to be some really cool stuff, I think, coming down the pipeline based upon just little snippets in that. And Microsoft Azure Supercomputer has a basically just where anybody can run stuff on, is 11,500 cores. And a few little fun facts that they reiterated about this is it's launching in Q3. The AMD Epic Rome, which is the code name, is Rome, up to 2 times performance and up to 4 times floating point performance over the original Epic line. So there's a lot of information here. My thoughts about all this is the naming scheme AMD could have maybe did a little bit differently. I really wonder where the 16 core is. if you're doing two chiplets and one's an 8 core, one's a 4 core, or they're putting two sixes in there, who knows? But I'm guessing that there's a 16 core that can be achieved somehow. I don't know if they're waiting on Intel to maybe release like a 10 core at like 800 watts or whatever they can get it underneath. I'm hoping Intel has something competitive. Honestly, I really do. But based upon what I've heard in leaks, I don't see it happening. But I wish that they would have maybe put the R9 family at the 3800 and left the 39 elsewhere. Where was I would like some more information on Threadripper. The demos could be a little bit better. I'd like to see some single thread performance demos, not, I know AMD's killing it on their multi-threaded stuff. They already were. I wanted to see some single threaded where they compare. They hinted at where they are, but the demos left much to be desired. So there's kind of stuff there I wished it was ironed out. But overall, I think that this moves the needle a little bit and has more competition in here where Intel needs to respond now as well. And I'm excited for what is in store. Maybe AMD does have a 16 core that they can lay out once Intel has a higher one. Or another option that they're having trouble, or not trouble, but they have only an X amount of chiplets that they can have of the cores. And with Rome and Epic Rome getting so much designation to them, they have only so many more left to go around, and they have to limit it until they can get another manufacturing run through on Taiwanese semiconductor. So there's some things that I want answered, but overall, I think that this was a great thing that AMD was able to release. Navi is coming, and there's some more information. It looks promising, but until I see it in person, or some of the review sites out there like Gamers Nexus does their full SWOT of reviews, and other sites out there like that. Hardware Unboxed does some good stuff too. It's only time will tell, right? So we gotta wait for the review sites, wait for stuff to get up. I'd love to review it, but I need to grow this channel a little bit more, and your guys' help has done that. So with that, I do want to thank you for watching. Hopefully we can get our hands on some of this stuff and be able to test it out, and hopefully Intel does respond. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I love listening to what your thoughts are. Very great comments have happened there, and more ideas that give me more viewpoints of what else can be out there as well. So thank you for watching. Thank you for helping to grow this channel and helping this channel and helping it grow. I really appreciate that. Well, I'm stumbling over my words here, but I really appreciate your guys' help here, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.